Hello again, Ben here. In this video I'll be tackling the rear inner arch and wing on the Alfa Spider. The first thing I'm going to do is measure the paint thickness. This will tell me if there's any filler in the wing and help me to decide how much to replace. The tool I'm using is called an Alchemeter and it measures coating thickness in microns. I'm getting a consistent reading of 300 to 350 microns. This tells me there isn't any filler, but the wing has been painted at least twice. A new modern car will have a paint thickness of between 90 and 130 microns. More than this and it's been refinished. An extremely useful tool for anyone buying a used car. As I now remove the paint, we can see the two previous paint jobs. There are some rust bubbles on the top of the wing, but not on the vertical parts. I've seen this caused by wet flatting primer. The water stays longer on the top of the panel and causes rust to appear at a later date. It's an old practice and not used anymore. As we start to examine the inner arch, it doesn't look great, and pot rivets have been used on the arch lip. I know the outer wing has been replaced badly in the past, so this is no surprise. Having chipped off all the underseal, it looks much better. Well, sort of. It's plain to see the inner arch has been replaced in the past, but there is a strange joining piece that I've not come across before. It appears to me the inner arch and joiner have been welded together from the other side when the outer wing was off. When I say welded, I mean brazed, filled and sealed, a very odd way to join panels. It's rare when removing an inner arch I cut into filler, don't get that one at all. My light stand was a tripod, but now it's a bipod. I have removed the strange joiner and need to replace it. After searching the internet, I couldn't find one, so I'm going to have to make this somehow. I'm thinking about 50 of these should do it. Or it might be better to make it in one piece. Here's a little tip for cutting with thin cutting discs. Don't go all the way through in one hit. The discs will last way longer if you cut in stages and only go through on the last pass possible. Okay, let's fold this doodad. To aid curving this doodad, I'm making some guides to help prevent distortion, which will likely want to occur. Now for the highly technical process of bend it until it fits. I was quite worried about making this part, but all seems okay. The only problem when bending is the need to shrink the flanges to keep them perpendicular. It now fits the new inner arch reasonably well, just need to start repairing the inner arch. For this piece I'm going to start curving the panel in the English wheel without stretching it. But it turns out a bit of crown is actually necessary, so mallet and sandbag, then back in the English wheel to produce this shape. This boot reinforcing panel looks like it was originally sandwiched in between the two inner arch panels, so I'm going to repair it and weld it to the outer arch panel while I still can. My plasma cutter is seldom used, but when needed is a brilliant tool. The inner rear valance looks to have been repaired in the past and welded on top of the boot reinforcer. I will be able to access and replace this once the outer wing is off. I kept this flange section long to provide strength when bending this piece, but now it can be cut off to the required length. All clamped up and time to weld. Having not worked on a Spider before, I have noticed quite often that multiple panels are joined together at once. I'm not keen on this because 1, it makes it harder to repair, and 2, it encourages rust, as you can see from the rear panel join. Here we have 4 panels coming together all at once, and look at the state of it. Now I'm tackling the rear jacking point and associated rusted sections. A very odd shaped jacking point and sill in my opinion. It was quite awkward to get in. The closing panel is another difficult shape to make, and I've had to resort to cardboard for a pattern. Because this length along the fold is longer than the length at the edge, I need to pre-stretch this material to help it bend. It was a tricky shape but gone in well, and the inner arch is finally complete. In the next video I will be repairing the outer wing and then removing it to correct how it was put on last time. Thanks for watching.